if I told you that planting one wrong plant in your garden could weaken an entire ecosystem? Don't panic, that's an exaggeration, but it is true that the plants you plant in your garden can have a huge impact on the world around you. The wrong plant in question is an exotic plant. The right plant is a native plant. A native plant is any plant that has began growing in a region prior to European settlement. Because of this long history, they have co-evolved with local species which have adapted to tolerate their chemical defenses. Native plants act as critical connectors in an ecosystem, holding food chains together. So how do native plants act as critical connectors? Well, a study done in 2009 has shown that over 75% of herbivorous insects in North America are specialists. Specialists are like very picky eaters. They require specific plant lineages for food and reproduction. Since these insects evolved alongside native plant species, they cannot tolerate the chemical defenses of exotic plant species, and when they are left with only exotic plant species to use for resources, they weaken and die as a result, severing key links in the food chain. A well-known example of this is the monarch butterfly. Monarch larvae feed on the native milkweed plants in their area, specifically from the genus Asclepias. A 2018 field study showed that monarch larvae raised on non-native species of milkweed had a significantly lower survival rate than those raised on the native milkweed. As native milkweed populations decline, so do the populations of the monarch butterfly. Another influential native plant is the oak tree. A 2009 study done in North America showed that a single native oak tree is capable of supporting over 500 different species of Lepidoptera larvae. Compare this to the commonly planted but non-native ginkgo tree, which supports less than 10. This directly influences bird population levels as well, including the chickadee. You see, chickadee nestlings rely on Lepidoptera larvae as a staple of their diet. Research shows that chickadees require a landscape composed of roughly 70% native plant biomass in order to access enough Lepidoptera larvae to raise their young successfully. Native plant species are important, so why are they disappearing? One major factor is land use. In the United States alone, lawns composed of turf grass, which supports next to no insect species, covers approximately 163,000 square kilometers of land, an area that is larger than the state of Georgia. Additionally, planting non-native ornamental plants displaces native vegetation and alters soil communities, making it ultimately harder for native plants to return. But not all hope is lost. Studies have shown success in planting native plants to combat the issues experienced by planting excessive amounts of exotic plants. Yards planted with native species experience 4 times greater populations of Lepidoptera larvae and in turn increased bird foraging activity. So the next time you plant a garden, think of it as welding the links of a food chain back together. Each native plant reconnects birds, insects, and biodiversity. And when enough people do this, we won't just be gardening, we'll be restoring ecosystems.